Welcome to Purchase Broadcast Studios. I'm your host, Jaden Doret. In recent years, the relationship between the police and African American communities has slowly been worsening. With the recent death of Tyree Nichols, we are once again reminded of the disconnect between the police and the communities they serve. We took to the streets of Purchase to ask the students if they believe there's still an ongoing issue with the police and what they think should be done to better this relationship.
That's a pretty heavy question. I said, first of all, everybody has rights. You know, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter who you are. Everybody has rights, and therefore everyone should be given those rights, and no one is above the law. It's the police officer's job to make sure that he does his job, and that it's not okay to beat somebody to death or beat somebody to a point where they're going to be disabled and stuff like that. Race relations and relations between officers and people have to be nurtured. And the public needs to feel that if they're walking down the street, if they're getting stopped, that they should not feel fear for their life. So it's super important that has to be developed. When I was a kid growing up in New York City, there was more nurturing of police officers in the inner city with young kids. You know, the Police Athletic League was a big thing for me growing up because I was a part of that, playing basketball and sports and stuff. And so the police have to make a better effort to get involved with kids in the neighborhood and to nurture relationships. So when they're in the neighborhoods, the people that live in the neighborhoods feel safe and that they know that there's a great relationship happening.
I think we can do to improve them.
I definitely don't think they're getting better just because of how media allows for communication to become so instantaneous. I think there's no textbook way to resolve that issue, but I think it would have to come from a community standpoint, and that it'd have to start with police getting to know the communities they serve first.
Well, I think it's indisputably getting worse. The tensions are just absurdly high, and it's really. I mean, it's always been high. This stuff isn't new, but it's getting to the point where it's so frequent and so brutal that it's just. It's so nobody can look away. The people who try to look away can't look away anymore. So I think what's good is that unfortunately innocent people need to die for people to actually care about the situation and what's going on, and the fact that police have way too much power and are able and think they can get away with this.
Ooh. I think that they're definitely headed in the right track, but there's always a push for security and safety that we can push for.
I think it's a matter of like human decency and all that stuff and humanity, and those are things you can't teach. I think that just comes, maybe something you can teach from very young. And if you don't got it, I don't think you should be a police officer, because at the end of the day, your job is to protect the people and the public. And also I feel like police officers often think their job is to like solve crime or like protect against violence, but I think their job is just, I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. Like, it's in my head, but I don't know how to express it. But I feel like there's so much more police officers can do, like checking on people to see how their day is going, help the elderly. We don't see much of that work. I mean, there's some that do it, but not all of them do it. I feel
You think more everyday work would be better?
yes, more everyday work for police officers would be better. I think like helping and supporting, because I don't feel like oftentimes they try to get to know the people in the neighborhood. They come, they do their job, and then they leave.